Good morning, Andrew. Adriana, Best, Jeanette. Good morning. I just wrote down, Adriana, the follow-up on the Rodney Reed case. Ideas? Rodney Reed. I know, my penmanship sucks, but good morning. Good morning, Tina, Jeanette. Faithful One, Ginger Locks, Eves, Amanda, Sunny. It's coming in blocks right now. Sorry if I missed anybody. RJ, Alda 2000. Hello from Minnesota. Sorry for your loss. I was just there. And I don't know if you've been to the Minneapolis St. Paul airport. That place sucks. I was just there the other day. Again, wow, getting in and out of that airport. I feel sorry for anybody who has to drop somebody off there and then pick them back up. That place was a nightmare getting in and out of. Amanda Hernandez, hello from Texas. Hello, Amanda. Eve. Sue Burt, good morning. Good morning, Sue. I hope you are doing well this morning. Listening while you're doing chores, huh, Daniel? That's cool. Miss Wee Lassie, good afternoon. I'm doing as best as I can. I was in Minnesota for 3 days, and then I flew back home, and I'm going to be here until, well, at least for the next 4 days, and then I'm flying back. I had to come home because there was absolutely no way for me to get out of work. I have to work today. I have to work tomorrow. I have to work Monday. There's nobody to cover for me at all. And even taking a bereavement leave, there was nobody because there's nobody that can do my job right now. The guy that I'm trained to actually do my job, to do what I do, which I won't get into, but I couldn't get him to do it. So I'm here. And I'll be flying back. The services for my uncle are the 22nd. Who are you? I am no one, Angela. I am nobody at all. Just a man with a camera. But thank you for asking. Marty B, welcome. Was that Langrel? Sorry if I missed it. It went by already. Again, Beyond DJ. Hi, Will. DJ GJ here. I'm sorry to hear about your loss, my friend. DJ. But now known as the former. Now you're Beyond DJ. I hope you're doing well, sweetheart. I really do. Audrey O, good morning. Condolences on your uncle. Glad you were able to find his brother. Yeah, of all the places, we never expected him to be. And there's part of us that actually wonders if my uncle who passed away, if he knew he was there. Because where he was about, I'd say 80 miles from where he lived, as opposed to, 200? Joy Tucker, good morning. Sorry, I've not been on for ages and identity theft. Oh man, changing bank details, etc. Best friend took her own life. Sorry for your loss, Will. Oh, I'm sorry about your friend, Joy. Really am. That's the thing with people who commit suicide, and something that we used to teach people and tell people all the time in suicide prevention was don't take your life unless you think but you will not affect anyone else. That's the T-shirt that I'm wearing right now. Out of the darkness. This T-shirt was the group that I belong to, MTFU. We sold these T-shirts for suicide awareness and for raising money. We put 17 guys through a 3-month class, so we learned how to do suicide prevention. So we can set up our own hotline within the actual group. And then all the rest of the proceeds that we made from the T-shirt sales went to donate to the suicide hotline for the state of Washington. They pool all their money. There are several different ones within the state of Washington, but they pool all their money from one resource and share resources. Morning, Shug Trotter. Dari D, good morning. Yeah, it's something that's very important to us. Within the group, the group MTFU that I belong to, we have a lot of veterans, and it's sad that anybody would ever get to the point where they feel like that is the only solution to their problems. But that it's life, and we understand, and we do our best. But I really am sorry, Joy. Louise, good morning. Sarah Smith, hi, lots of love from the UK. Good morning, Sarah. I hope you're doing well. Black Rose, Philip Vance. Good morning, Philip. Brewing some Java. Yeah. I'm a little jet lagged right now. That's got 1,300 miles there, 3 days, 1,300 miles back. I'll be here for the next 4 days and then 1,300 miles back. And I don't know how long I'm actually going to be there. Right now, we are trying to get someone from the state, an independent, what do they call it? My sister knows more about this than I do. We need somebody to step in and to take control and watch over the assets of what my uncle had, and because he didn't have a will. He didn't have any last directives, nothing at all for us to go by. But he was also the executor of the estate for 3 people. So he was the executor of that. So now we have to find somebody to be the executor of all of it. And there's a lot of clamoring within the family. Oh, I'll do it. People, no, don't do it. Don't give it to them. I'll do it. Now we're like, nope, screw this. We're going to find someone completely independent of the family to take over and be the executor. I think that's what it's called, of the estate. Man, my sister, like I said, knows more about it than I do. I'm kind of lost when it comes to it. Margie, it very much is, and good morning. Wow. My heart goes out to you, Joy. It really does. I had a good friend that took his life about, it's got to be 7 or 8 years ago now. He screamed and screamed and screamed, that he wanted help, and everybody knew what the end game was. We knew he was going to do it, but nobody could talk him out of it. It didn't matter how much we put him in the hospital on what do they call that? It's not suicide watch, but it's we committed him against his will. We tried everything. We tried interventions. We tried everything we could, and nothing would have worked. But we even now, years later. Was he a veteran, Margie? Yeah. 5150 hold. Beyond DJ. See? DJ knows. Thank you, DJ. Elizabeth Enroth Lewis. I jumped in, but you would need to go through probate court. Good morning, Oma. Mammy Love, our veterans are not being given the dare that they deserve. No. Mary Frederick, good morning. Barbara Eddy. Sonia, good morning. Patty Keegan, good morning. Joe from Amsterdam, good morning, sir. Try not to miss people, but this thing is being really glitchy right now, and everybody's comments are coming in chunks. Dog Meat Jesus, good morning. Sunny Sandy, good morning. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sandy Johnson, good morning. Matthew Burgess, good morning all from Mesa, Arizona. Good morning, Matthew. I hope you are doing well. Agree we need more help for veterans. My uncle in Vietnam and my Phil in Korean War. Yeah, my uncle Kenny, God bless his soul, but he's been lost since he came back from Vietnam, and all the horrible things that you hear about, that happened to Vietnam veterans happened to him, and then tenfold over. I mean, he came back, he was already messed up in the head, and he has not been right ever since then. He never will be. He most likely was. I don't want to speculate on too much on what his experience. I can only tell from what the family has. We've learned throughout the years. Since he came back. Tax Girl, good morning from Nebraska, heartland of America. Regina, good morning. Chrissy Lee, good morning. Detained for 72 hours. Yeah, 5150. Absolutely true. Good morning, RN. Irish Eyes, good morning. I'm doing as best as I can right now. I was telling everyone I'm a little bit jet lagged. Yeah, that funky is like it's like I want to sleep, but I'm not tired. Alec Cat, good morning. "2 hours in Baghdad profoundly affected my son." Margie, you tell your son thank you for his service. Uh-oh. The young DJ's got to go feed her kids. Blue Mermaid, good morning. Thank you, Blue Mermaid. I appreciate that. I really do. While I was gone, apparently, as you can hear, I've got the dehumidifier running over there. It rained while I was gone, but all my lights. These suckers are expensive. That's a light bulb, ladies and gentlemen. But I guess the humidity got so high in here, it shorted out all the bulbs. That's a big bulb. Oh, good morning, Pink Camo. How are you doing this morning? You've never seen a bulb like that? I've got bigger ones. I've got one that goes in a studio light over there. It looks like a regular light bulb, like an old, what they call them, old-fashioned condensing bulb. I got ones that are like that, but they're clear, and they're about that big. Yeah. You can't go down to the hardware store and buy these bulbs here. These are $45 a piece from the supplier. This is 105 watt, 5,400K, 250 volts, 50-60 hertz bulb. Well, at least what it says on the side. What I need to do is I need to change them all over to LEDs. So, but I finally got the backdrop up for now, because we're changing this entire thing around, the entire studio space around. Because in the new year, here what, month and change from now, starting the new year, we're going to start a podcast, and we need to make this space more user friendly for that. The podcast that we're going to be doing is going to be 100% audio, and you'll be able to get it on either iTunes or SoundCloud, and you can listen while you work, listen while you're doing your chores, like Andrew. I like everything Pink Life. Her husband has the same types of bulbs in her shop, her husband's shop. Black Rose, her hubby was a sheriff, so she knows the codes. I appreciate it. Podcast sounds great. Yeah. But the podcast that we're going to be doing, it's not going to be true crime, I guess. It's going to be anything and everything. Or driving like you, RN, who's always driving. At least it seems like it. At least when you have the ability to try to get onto my stream. And again, in case I forgot to tell you last time, thank you again for coming on the stream with me. I freaked the hell out of my wife though. She caught part of the stream, and she's like, "Oh my God, did you just tell everybody that you have unregistered guns? Now they're going to come for our guns." I was like, yeah, I did, and I'll do it again. Bring it on. Andrew, it will be on YouTube, but it won't have any video. It'll just be audio. So basically, the screen is just going to say, the name of the podcast, and then what episode it is. But yeah, it'll be on YouTube. It just won't have any video. So it's the same thing, as if it was on SoundCloud or iTunes. We're not sure which one we're going to have it on yet. And iTunes doesn't like certain content, and SoundCloud is they're kind of, it's not that they don't like certain content, it's that they're very picky about how they recommend certain content. I like it. I like everything Pink says. She likes to listen to podcasts while she drives, and the reason why we're doing either SoundCloud or iTunes is it gives us more of a chance to reach a broader audience. It will not. I'm not sure if we're going to put the podcast on this channel for 101 Now, or if we're going to put it on my other channel. But most likely it'll be on this channel. But that's not the whole thing, and none of that is going to start until after New Year's. We got to get the rest of this done. If you can see over here, if I can swing the camera around, I got sawhorses set up here, and everything else, because we have to kind of reconfigure and we took down part of a wall. We were doing this before I left, so it's gonna, obviously things have gotten delayed. Amazing Lover 96. Good morning, sir. What about Stitcher? We've looked into Stitcher. We've looked into a lot of different venues. We looked into I'm trying to think here. I don't have the list in front of me, but we went through each and every one of the different venues to post it on, to have the podcast on. And there's pluses and minuses for each one of them. Is Stitcher the one where Ninja went to? Is that the Microsoft one? Do you know, Mary? I think that's the one where Ninja went to. If anybody knows who Ninja is. Hello from chilly upstate New York. Mary, good morning. Marie. Okay. Marie said good morning from upstate New York. Mary Frederick is what about Stitcher? How cold is it in New York, Marie? I know Andrew's in Ohio freezing his ass off. Will, what do you think of the jailhouse buddy saying Patrick Freeze wanted him to take out a witness? Firefly, to tell you the truth, I haven't been following the Patrick Freeze case at all. It's just not one of the stories that I've been following. I have been sent articles about it, but it's just not. I passed off all my research and everything I did in the beginning of the case to my friend. So I've got my hands full with other cases that I've been doing. I'm sorry, I really am. So I don't know about it. Chrissy Lee, Will, I just wanted to let you know, I told my friends and nurses here at the medical facility I'm living in that you need prayers. So we've done it the past week every night. Thank you, Chrissy. I really do appreciate that. And I pray for you too. Molly, good morning. We're in Molly's message has been retracted. 28 degrees in Boston, Massachusetts. Philip Vance, cold here in Raleigh, North Carolina. Gianna Marie. Hey, Will. Good morning, Gianna Marie. Sorry. I've been dealing with this stupid head cold for over a week now, and it's not gotten any better. I've tried Mucinex and everything else. Yeah, that sucks, Black Rose. I'm sorry. 86, 87, 87 the next 3 days in California. We might get up to here where I am. We might get up to a blistering 50 degrees today. Huh? It's sunny in Arkansas. 75 in San Diego, California. Up to 80 today. My friends are actually in California this week, and I was originally supposed to go down to San Diego. My friend's son just graduated from MCRD the other day, and I was originally hoping to go down there with him to watch his son graduate. But life, always throws you a curveball. You got to roll with it, right? Yeah. I replied to some of the comments the other day. I was at SeaTac airport, and it's the Seattle Tacoma airport. I was up there, and I still had one more flight left before I got home. I replied back to a couple of comments and told people where I was, and just to say that people came unglued. They're like, "Come visit me! Come visit me!" Gidget Marvel is 51 there. Vegas Goddess. I'm from San Diego, but now live in Portland, Oregon. Keep Portland weird, Vegan Goddess. I don't know if I could ever do a vegan diet. I mean, my daughter's been a vegetarian her entire life, but I don't know if I could do a vegan diet. Last night, I made a pot roast, potatoes, carrots, onions, garlic. I just threw it all in the crock pot. I got home and I wasn't feeling up to doing too much. Kevin Brand, good morning, sir. Go. Is that a beacon? Is that like a Brussels sprout or a shoot? Like a little sprout? That's cool. It is cool. I've never seen that one before. I've seen a lot of emojis on here. I know when you do super chats now on all channels, not just this channel, but on all channels, you can buy stickers, emoji stickers, I guess. I know I got the notice this morning that, and I had to agree that YouTube wouldn't let me do a stream until I logged on and said if my content in this stream is appropriate for children under the age of 13. I had to answer yes, it's made for children, or no, it wasn't for children. And then I had to agree that I understood the terms of what content is for children. And I'm like, what the hell did this come from? And apparently now at the top of my every single thing, I have to go into my thing afterwards, and I have to tell YouTube if my content is appropriate for children, which is kind of worrisome. So, like, how do they decide what is appropriate and what isn't? And Donna Baez, good morning. It is 25 degrees in Detroit. One pot meal, pink camo. It's 54 in Georgia. I prefer it over 40. Oh, over 40 or below, LOL. Cold weather makes us old people slow. Martha Dickinson. We're not old. We're just experienced. Sunny Sandy, 81 degrees where she is today. And good morning, Sunny Sandy. It's a whopping 27 degrees here in Maine. That's where Tim is from, my buddy Tim. He'll be here later on today. I don't know if we're going to do a live stream tonight. He's in town for his grandson birthday. His grandson turns 7 years old today. Well, or this past week, and he's having his birthday party today. So Tim's in town for that. But I don't know if he's going to have a chance or I'm going to have a chance to do a live stream. I have to go to work. I have to go work today after this. And then I think he's going to be done probably 7 or 9, somewhere in there. So I don't know if we're going to get a chance to, but he's from Maine. He's from Old Town, Maine. So I'm pretty sure if you're from Maine, you know where Old Town, Maine is. YouTube sounds like it's coming out with some crazy rules. Blue Mermaid? They say that these new requirements and everything everybody has to agree to is for these rules and laws have been in effect forever. And there are a lot of people who will game the system. Trust me. So I have on my television in the house, I have YouTube Kids. And there is content on there that's YouTube Kids, underneath that app. And there is content on there that is not appropriate at all for children. And it is clearly marketed to be a children's program. It's cartoons, but it's cartoons with adult themes. And they're directly marketing that crap to children. So, whatever they're doing now, if they, by making people agree to that, if this content is for children or not, I totally agree with it. Because I don't want my son seeing, the version of Mickey Mouse porno, and yes, there is a Steamboat Willie porno out there of Mickey Mouse. Lake Assaguawa, Portland, Oregon, 48 degrees and foggy. I don't know if I've ever been to Lake Oswego. My wife was in here. She'd know. I got it. Old Town. Yep, I do. Did a show. Did you show the wife the Stephen King house video that I uploaded? I did. It's been a while, Tina. But yeah, it was really nice of you again to do that. I've even been a monitor. I have to even monitor YouTube Kids. I agree. You have to watch what kids are streaming, even on YouTube Kids. Yeah, and it's. I downloaded the app to our TV, YouTube Kids, because I wanted something that was safe for my son to watch. Because most of the time he's on PBS, on there. He only gets to watch 3 hours of television. And for that 3 hours of television, it's mainly after it's kind of like wind down time, I guess. It's not in the morning, it's not in the afternoon, but he gets to watch a little bit, maybe an hour here, maybe a half hour here. But he doesn't get to stream things. He's only 3 years old, and he can't do it himself. He's already broken one TV. 65-inch Vizio. Threw a toy at it. Killed like half the pixels with one toy, one throw. Doesn't throw things a lot of times, But he threw that toy, little plastic truck. Do it, hit the TV, killed half the pixels in that TV. And I was like, ah! My wallet cried. PBS has Curious George. Yeah, my son loves Daniel the Tiger, and which is Mr. Rogers. Tell you just how old I am. And when the first time he was watching Daniel the Tiger, I'm sitting there and watching it, and I'm like, man, I was getting upset because I'm sitting there watching this. I'm like, this is a complete ripoff of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. They can't do this. Just because he's gone doesn't mean that he's gone. They can just take his content like that. Oh, they got the train and everything. This is Mr. Rogers. And I'm getting upset. And then my wife's like, "What are you getting upset for? It was made by him." And I'm like, "Oh man," I felt like an idiot. Ricky Ray, hi Will. I don't get on many lives. Just wanted to say love that you. Fact-based, no drama, respect from the UK. Thank you, Ricky. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Ricky Ray. All right, you see me now. Now you still see me. I'm here. "60 cartoons rocked." And I got my son actually watching the other day. I just out of nostalgia purposes, I was watching 3-2-1 Contact. I don't know if anybody remembers that. That and the old cartoon, where they did like how a bill become a law, and bills are become little dancing law. That was cool as hell. Magic Garden. Anyone remember that program? No, I don't remember Magic Garden. Dari D is vaping. I don't vape. And they just outlawed here in my state. They outlawed all vaping products that are flavored. So now you can only get the regular ones. So vape shops all over the state are going bankrupt and closing up. 3-2-1. Mr. Wizard. Yeah, we watched Mr. Wizard too. We watched Mr. Wizard, and that guy always kind of creeped me out, even as a kid. But we watched the original black and white versions of was it Scott Lewis? No, what the hell was his last name? Scott, I think it was. Bozo the Clown, Willard Scott. Willard Scott, the guy who went on to the Today Show and did the weather forever, but he was the original Bozo the Clown with the photo pimento. Anybody remember that? Pitbull Sleuth. VB Girl, Russ Montoya, my brother's friend from Burlington, Colorado, just got arrested for killing their other childhood friend, encased his body in cement, and then shared a post on Facebook acting like he was missing. I'm sorry, VB. Wow. Montoya. Yeah, they're all banned here, except for the regular ones. And oddly enough, the people who backed the bill to ban vaping products in my state was the tobacco industry. They were tired of fighting all these other companies out there that were basically taken away from their bottom line. You're amazing. I appreciate all the work you're doing for us. I got to go now. Bye, vape. vegan goddess. You have a good day. Yeah. Well, Dari D, I don't know what state you're in, but that's basically what it is here. You can get the regular tobacco, but you can't get anything flavored. And all the companies that made even the tobacco flavor that is not from one of the main companies, they set the regulations. So even the tobacco flavor ones are hard to get, from what I understand. I've never vaped. Yep. I'm going to have to edit that a little bit out. Massachusetts just barred them. I slept to New Hampshire and loaded up on vaping supplies. Good morning, Tammy. Dari D will just use the patch, huh? Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate that. Good morning, Mary. In case I didn't see you before, and say hello and good morning. Will comes on at 4 p.m. in Ireland. That's my wine and smoke alarm. Donna, what do I think about the letters from Christopher? Are you talking about the book or the letters themselves? Well, first off, I haven't read the book. What letters I have read, I've all been fan-based letters that have been sent to him, or he's written out to fans, the ones that his mother released. I can talk about that. But it's crazy that that people actually get involved in that. But at the same time, I understand the psychology behind why people fall in love with people who are serial killers, and people who are never going to be released from prison. There's a whole psychological side of it, of why people do what they do. And that's the part that interests me the most. But I haven't read the book, so I can't really talk about that. I like everything pink. Off to work. Have a good day. Have a good day. I like everything pink. I like very pink. I have probably read that 5 times wrong and said it 5 times wrong. Will, is it these lives that are changing to a podcast? No. You're talking about the live streams. No. I'm going to keep the live streams. Everything that's on Full now is going to stay the same. Nothing is changing in this content, or and how I release it, when I release videos. Everything is staying the same. The podcast is just something that's being added to everything. It's nothing's going away. On my Will Star, on that channel, there are some things that are going to die off. I've killed them off already. But there are that entire channel, everything about that channel is just me relaxing. It's me making content and sharing it with the world, but it's what I do to try to mentally get out of, reading about the depravity, and the nasty things that are happening in this world. I mean, if you spend 24 hours a day reading about, serial killers and people who kill their families, it will get to you after a while. At least it does with me. So I started Willstar as a way to make content and show people, look, there's more to me as a human being besides the fact of, just sitting around and, and talking about, these cases that nobody agrees with or everybody agrees with, but everybody hates. So the podcast is totally separate. It's just something I'm adding to it in January. And the podcast won't be just true crime. It'll be, well, I don't think it's going to have too much true crime. And it might have some crime, but it all depends on who I can get to come on the actual podcast, because it's going to be people here in person and then other people where it kind of looks like a live stream, but it's just the two of us. You'll on one screen, me on one side, the other person on the other side. And it can be anything about talking about their lives or what's happened to them or their experiences or their take on a subject, something that they know about that we can share with the world. That's what the podcast is going to be about. And I've got a bunch of people who are lined up to do it. It's trying to get everybody together. And RN's got to go kill some terrorists. Take care, Will. You have a good day, RN. And thank you again for everything that you do. You stay safe out there. It's true, Irish Eyes. It's very true. Oh, I'm glad that was closed. Goofy Newfie, good morning from Toronto, Canada. Good morning to you. Kitty Mom, what do you think about Cato saying that Christopher Watts and Jim gave Christopher Watts the oxy? Well, first off, there's no proof that Christopher Watts ever took oxys on the day of that event. He was not drug tested. He was not, and there is, and I know a lot of people speculate like, well, during the interview, with the television station, you can tell by his eyes that he was on something, which is not necessarily an actual fact. If you're put into a high stressor situation, in a situation he was not ready for or built up in his mind to take, he didn't think, what, Shanahan's friend's going to call the, a news station and have get this out there, and he wasn't ready for it. He would have the same reaction in his eyes as it's kind of like trauma, or shock. So there's no proof that he was actually on oxys. People have speculated that he's on oxys. There's rumors. People have read things that said that he was on oxys, but there's no proof of it. Did Jim have anything to do with giving him oxys? I highly doubt it at all, and completely. I feel sorry for of all the people who are mixed up in this entire thing. And everything that I've read and researched about that, the Christopher Watts case, I feel really, truly sorry for Jim. All he was a friend to Nicole, and not even his best friend, and not even a close friend, just a friend. And he got dragged into this thing like there's no tomorrow, and people, blasted him and doxed him all over the internet. Sad. It'd be like, one of you had a friend who went, was it VM or VB friend, or someone that they know who killed somebody else and then encased them in concrete. VB girl. It'd be like, now we decide to dox VB girl because, of her association of knowing who this person is. and then blasting her name all over the internet, her real name. Because I'm highly doubt that her parents named her BB. Could happen. It's just, it isn't, Dari D, it is insane. And wrong, yeah. But, what can you do? I mean, besides, try to tell people the truth. Look, this guy had nothing to do with this. And why would a complete stranger who's friends with this person come over and then decide to help this person in any way at all? I mean, he might be a nice guy, but I don't know many people who, help me dispose of a body or three. Firefly, I doubt it. He's gonna have his fans, and his fans are going to be as ravenous as ever, and they're going to get more and more as they feel like the world is attacking them back into a corner, and they're just going to get nastier and nastier, and they're going to come out and attack everybody that they feel is even remotely attacking them or not going along with the narrative that he has been preaching. It's sad. Suing. You think that people should start suing him for his outrageous slander? There's things that people should be more worried about than suing him for it. I would be really and it's always bothered me that he has spent so much of his time lying about his background. I'm not going to get into it, but the person that you see on that side of the camera who's talking to everybody in his live streams and in his videos, he's not the person that a lot of people think he is. And it's very easy to find the information. And that's the part that's really surprising. It really is. The information is out there, even in the UK. You can research who this person is. Sam, what's the subject, please? Sam, there is no subject in my live streams on Saturday. This is always just friends sitting around talking about whatever we want to, whatever comes to mind. Whatever comes to mind. We have talked about everything from, medical issues that we all deal with as we get more experienced in life, to music, to cars, television shows, kids programming. And that's the entire point of this. There's never a subject. Leslie. Okay. How do we... hello from Scotland. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce that. Charchik? Tries? I'm not going to try. I'm sorry, Leslie. VB girl is glad she finally made it to a live stream. I'm glad you made it to it too. Ooh, Patty Keegan wants chocolate chip pancakes. I might have to make those this morning. Well, I can't make them this morning. I have to go to work after this. But, Will, is it true that the guy who was standing on the balcony smoking when he waved to Christopher Watts is involved in the case as well? I'm just kidding. We have a good sense of humor sometimes. Marie, we always have a good sense of humor. It's a social live amongst friends. It is, Dari. It's all it is. Just friends having a cup of tea, coffee. sure some people are drinking other things, but it's really sad. Those beautiful little girls. If he was sent to England, someone would have kicked his arse in prison. He wouldn't be protected like he is. Do you pronounce it Lorna? Lorna Campbell? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Ooh, hey, now, there's my favorite Cubby fan. It's me. Good morning. Good morning, it's me. I believe you pronounce it Lorna, but I'm not sure, and I'm sorry if I'm off on that. Dari was my mom's nickname. Still a cool name. Anyone dealing with a herniated disc? I went to the ER last night. Donna Bias. I dealt with it. Actually, I had a herniated disc in my back, and then I eventually ended up having back surgery because they found when they did the scan, they found what to call it. It was I had a herniated disc, but I'm trying to remember what they call it, a calcium deposit, I think it was. But it was basically almost like a bone spur that was pressing on the actual nerves itself. It sucks. It really does. And it's not fun at all. I mean, I couldn't do anything, Donna. I couldn't walk. I couldn't sleep. Sleeping sucked. I couldn't. Didn't matter how I laid in bed. I could not find comfort. I would lay down. I'd put a pillow for where my lower back was to try to support it, one of those air pillows, and then I put a heating pad on that, and then I drugged myself to the point where I was like, okay, am I going to wake up tomorrow? I mean, I was taking that much pain medication, and it didn't help. So I know exactly what you're going through, and I'm really sorry. It really sucks. My sister had a herniated disc, and she did one of, I can't remember what they call it, where you invert yourself on that. It was invert. Anybody know what those things are called? She said that helped her relieve the pressure. My neck was also found to have a lump in my breast. Oh, Donna, I'm sorry. God damn. I hope it's benign. Donna Bias. I'll put you down on my prayers for. See, I don't know if you guys can see this or not. All right. So, I've got people that I'm going to pray for tonight. I got Donna. Channels. Nobody's recommended any channels. Ideas for cases that people want me to look into. And then the super chats, which I always have them on the paper, and I write everything down so I remember to my rotator cuff is screwed right now. I've been using TENS unit. I'm not familiar with the TENS unit. It's me. I had rotator cuff surgery. Well, they orthoscopic surgery on my rotator cuff. Good morning, Tiffany Davis. I had surgery on my rotator cuff. So this is November now, so 3 months ago. Dari D, 3 herniations found for a total of 8, and I need complete knee replacement. So pain in my life. All right, Dari. I have a 3/4 inch, 3/4 replacement of my left knee. I've had both my knees, my back, my neck, my gallbladder removed. My wife says my warranty expired. I really pray for you. The knee surgery. I mean, I had a really good orthopedic surgeon who did a damn good job. I can't complain. Oh, and I had both my arms. I had nerve surgery on both my arms. This one was um, military related. Rain Dancer, good morning. Ginger Anderson. So, but I think it's supposed to be a turkey leg, like Thanksgiving happy. Turkey happy. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone in case we don't get together before then. Well, thank you, Ginger. I appreciate it. Sorry to hear Karen. Judah. Enjoy the chat all for one. Have a safe trip and praying for you and your family. Thank you, Margie. I appreciate that. Yeah. I lived life in the fast lane when I was younger and didn't really care what happened to this shell, this body. I'm paying for it now. Still here. Morning, Will. Been thinking about you and your uncles. Thank you. Thank you, sweetheart. I appreciate that. You blame Leslie blames food chemicals. Good. I know. I see that a lot, Andrew. People posting about stage 4 or stage 3 cancers. My wife is a breast cancer survivor, and I don't remember them ever giving her a stage number. At least not here with her treatment. But I mean, I guess it happens, in places. Um, it just kind of strikes me as odd, that it happens, because I don't really know from our experience. I don't know what a stage 4 is, or a stage 3 or 2 or 1. I just know, so if we take like stage 1 as being the lowest end and stage 4 being the highest end, and more likely of mortality being at 4. I mean, where was my wife in that level? My wife would have been closer to 4. She has a very aggressive type of breast cancer, and it showed up not only in her breast, but then her lymph nodes and then her leg. And we went at it with 100% radiation and chemotherapy, continuously. And we did 3 aggressive rounds of radiation and chemotherapy, and it worked. It's been 6 years now since her last chemotherapy treatment. Is it a likelihood that it will come back? Yes. They know that women who have that type of cancer, it's aggressive and it comes back. But we're not going to worry about it and waste our lives about it. We're like we think about today and focus on today and make today as positive as possible. But yet keep stay with the cancer treatment center and make sure that we make all the appointments and everything else to make sure if it does come back, we aggressively go after it again. Stage 4 killed your mom, Donna. I am sorry. My wife had metaplastic carcinoma, which is a very aggressive form of cancer. And once it takes hold, the mortality rate is extremely high. She's also one of 1 in 300 million women under the age of 40 ever get it. Tammy's wife calls the bionic woman. 6 spinal surgeries. Oh, just had my knee replaced. Surgery 2 weeks ago. I've had 6 spinal surgeries. My family calls me the bionic woman. Oh, family. I'm like, why? Mary Frederick. There's also A, B, C, etc. Usually looks like type C, stage IV plus. Thank you, Rinky Ray. Blessings to all those with illnesses. Love to you all. Pink Camel, how's my wife now? Well, right now, health-wise, pretty good. I mean, neither one of us getting any younger. We all have the aches and moans and groans of, being over a certain age. She's cancer-free right now. The next, they give you a 5-year window after the chemo treatment, and we're past that 5-year window when the likelihood was that it was going to come back, and it was going to come back as uterine cancer, most likely. We are past that point, and that 5-year mark. We're at year 6 now. So now the likelihood, if it does come back, it's going to come back in her lymph nodes, or it'll come back in her brain. And then this is what the statistical odds and what they've shown has happened to women who get that type of metaplastic carcinoma, is that, where they can track all the people who've ever had it and who've ever gone through treatment and have done everything successfully. That's what the likelihood is. Now, on a side note, though, so we were supposed to have, she was supposed to have the hysterectomy because, the likelihood was in that 5-year window. Okay, after it goes away, the next 5 years, it's going to show. If it shows back up, it's going to show up as a uterine cancer. So she was supposed to have the hysterectomy. But when she went in the first time we had the surgery all set up and, at the hospital, and she was supposed to go in and have it done, but she had fever. So they said, well, it would be too risky to put you under to do this surgery because you have a fever. We're going to reschedule it for a couple of weeks. And as long as you have a good, bill of health, no fever, no cold or anything like that, then we'll do it then. And they said, so we were going to come back in a couple of weeks. We go back, we're all ready. We got into the hospital and they got her into the gown, got her all ready and everything else. And they did the basic blood work and everything else to make sure she was healthy before she went into surgery. And the doctor and a couple other nurses came in and they said, we can't do the surgery. And we said, why? Why now? What's wrong with the blood work? Because we're thinking, immediately when they said the blood work was off, we're like, oh shit. Well, now what? Did they not get is her cell count off? What the hell's going on? And they said, we can't do the surgery. You're pregnant. And now we have a 3-year-old son. Yeah. That's life. We were never supposed to have a second one after our daughter was born. They told us that the chances were, I can't remember what the odds were, but they told us we were never going to have a second child after our daughter was born. And then the chemotherapy jump-started her entire system all over again. And he is our amazing blessing. Yeah, Dari. That's why there is 19 years and 4 months between our 2 children. And unfortunately, there's a very good chance that my wife will spend the rest of her life spoiling the out of my son. He is a kid. He is. I love waking up every morning to because most mornings, he'll get out of his bed and come running into my bedroom, and he grabs my beard like right here on the side, and he's like, Daddy, wake up! And he'll just sit there, Dad, 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 Dad. As annoying that is, and how some mornings I'm just like, no, I want to sleep. I love every minute of it. Life is precious. We only get so much time on this earth, in this life. Make the best of it. There's no reason to ever. I know that people can't help depression, and they can't help certain medical problems. But damn it, that's why I don't understand the internet. Why be nasty to someone over something you have zero control over? God's gift are our children. Black Rose 11, that is absolutely true. Absolutely true. Leslie, thank you. I am a lucky man. If I look at where I've come from and where my wife has come from over the years, and we have so much, in our lives to be thankful for every single day. It's amazing. And you can take all the physical property and all my possessions, flush them down the toilet. As long as I have my family, that's the one thing that matters to me the most. There you go, Dari. I was going to go with you're a hell of a woman, but I guess a good woman works too. You're a hell of a person, and I mean that. Just like Blue Mermaid. Yep. Well, I would hope you would be here still, Irish Eyes. Alma. Hey there. Nice to see you again, too. I don't. At the same. Sorry. I got to get over this damn congestion issue. I was told because of my health issues and because I'm 36 years old, I will not be able to have children. I really don't want to give up on that dream yet, but I don't know if I'm being selfish. I don't think you are, Chrissy. We had our son, healthy boy. Nothing wrong with him at all, except for he's got way too much fucking energy. Sorry for cursing there, but he does. Oh my God, I wish I could bottle that. But my wife was, I won't give the total, age of her, but let's just say she was about 5 years older than you when we had him. And I have 4 sisters, and every one of them have had children over past the age of 40. And having children is it's not the end of the world, or not having children. Please don't set your worth on if you have children or not. There are some people out there who never have children. As for instance, my uncle Keith, who just died, he never had children. He just knew that in his heart because of his academics and his work schedule and everything else. It just wasn't right for him to bring children into the world. So instead, he spent his life making sure and taking care of others, and never let someone go without if he could find a way to provide for them. He worked on himself and became a better person and became the best person he could for everybody else. And he never had children. And he was a firm believer in being that lifelong bachelor. So having children is not the end of the world. Don't set your self-worth on that. Good morning, sensible crime. It's me. Had her first at 36. A lot of people, I mean, and that's the way it goes. A lot of people have their children at a later stages in life, older, because they work up. In this world today we live in, people have to work to survive. You have to have a two-parent household to get by anywhere anymore, and careers and everything else gets in the way, and then you have children later on. I just hope that your medical issues improve, because I want you around, Chrissy. We all need you around. Oh, thank you, Blue Mermaid. I don't think that I'm anything different than what I should be, though. This is just me. Only difference is I get this platform to talk to people on. There are a lot of people out there like me. Oh. Oh. Boltzmann, is that how you pronounce it? Boltzmann, Brian. Welcome and good morning, Boltzmann. Boltzmann, Brian. Last name first name last. Sounds military to me. That's the way we always wrote everything. Last name first name last. Glad you could be here, though. Oh, yeah, Gidget Marvel, you are absolutely correct. I don't understand. I am completely lost when it comes to like my daughter and her generation. Everything is just like everything. All the concepts and everything that I had in my that I thought I understood is gone. The way that they date, the way they communicate, everything is by a good old cell phone. They never put them down. And I'm talking about, I mean, I've been to social gatherings with my, and brought my daughter there or picked her up from them. There'll be 30 people, all her age, all her friends just hanging out, and they're all sitting around the couches and tables and stuff. And every one of them's got their damn phone out and no one's talking to each other right next to each other. There are people texting across the room from each other. And I'm like, do you guys even talk to each other when you guys get to these gatherings? They don't have necessarily boyfriend, girlfriends. They have people they're interested in. And it's weird. But at that same time, though, I sit back and I say, you know what? My parents probably thought the way that, that my generation growing up was weird as well. So I think we have the same thing. It's like, oh, that music is weird. We don't like that music. Look at the way they're dressed. Hey. Your son is 32. He's a great person and love all his friends too. Just do it, Chrissy. Just do it. Start your channel. Say what you have to say. And don't worry about it. You can turn the comment section off and not have to listen to anybody. Just start it. Do it. Good morning, Cece. Everybody deserves to have a voice. Start. And if you feel that there's one person out there who may learn something or be able to understand, who's going through the same things you are, do it. All you got to do is just point that camera at yourself and say, this is me. This is my life. This is my story. And I hope that you can understand who I am or what I'm going through. And with that in mind, just do it. Tell people who you are. You might help somebody. It might help somebody who's on the edge who feels that they are all alone, Chrissy. And if you can help that one person that could be a million miles away, not a million miles, but you get my point. They could be a million miles away, or they could be a block away, and they're going through the same thing, or down the hall from you. There's somebody out there, where your story could touch somebody. But it's up to you. Hillary, good morning. I have a friend, Leslie, that teaches English as a second language. He's in China. And no joke, he makes more teaching in China than he was teaching here in America. And he gets better benefits. And they gave him, he's got like a little apartment thing, and basically it's like a closet. I mean, I wouldn't want to live in that apartment, but then again, I think it's more of Americans than anything else. We'd like big giant homes with land and everything else, but for the longest time though, he actually lived in a hotel. Soul diversity, thank you. And welcome and good morning. Dari, you're going to start your own channel too? Have to pick a genre. And I'll start with the introduction video and upload it. So please see that I am real. So all people see that I'm real. We know you're real. Then go from there. I don't know. If you look back at the videos that I started with on this channel, well, if they were still on this channel, but they're not, I've taken them all down except for one. I started off just talking. And I was like, I don't know if anybody's ever going to listen to me or care. And that's how I started my channel. I was just telling people about, what's going on in the world and what I found interesting. And I just let it go from there. And then one day I turned on YouTube and I was just messing around. I looked at my channel again and I'm like, oh my God, I have 300 subscribers. Where'd all these people come from? I tell people, my wife and my friends all told me to stop saying it though, but I would do this content if nobody watched it. And I would, this has become, this channel has become more of like a therapy for me, I guess. If anybody can understand that. You're going to email, text me. You have no idea how to set it up. Well, do it. Rain Dancer, you know how to get a hold of me. Well, soul diversity, you don't have to talk to you. If you can find a way, maybe 2 minutes, just do 2 minutes. An introduction. Start off with an introduction of who you are, where are you from, and then go from there. Talk about your day. How was your day that day? Start off with something really simple until you find something that you really are passionate about. And that, I think that a lot of people love that fact about my channel is I'm passionate about this, but I research it and I do the work behind it, and I'm not out here to try to pull the wool over anyone's eyes. I tell it exactly how it is, and I keep the drama and all the other crap out of it. Cece, I'm doing okay, sweetheart. I'm home for the next 4 days, and then I'm flying back to Minneapolis on the 20th. The services for my uncle are the 22nd. Yep. Appreciate it, Rain Dancer. Irish Eyes, and that's why you have the ability to go into there and you can turn off the thumbs up, thumbs down. You can turn that off. You can turn off the comment section, everything. You have the ability to do that in the settings, so you never have to hear the negativity or the drama. Nobody has to come into the comment section and make your life miserable. And that there are trolls out there, and that's all they want to do is make your life miserable and upset you in some way. But you can turn all that off. You don't have to have it on. I know people who started off their channels and they turned it off before they ever uploaded their first video and the settings, and they've got 200,000 subscribers now. It's never hurt their ability to grow the channel. And they tell people right up front in the video, there's no comments and there are no thumbs up, thumbs down on my content. Enjoy the content, and realize that people are not going to do any of this stuff. It's Cece, but that's it. We love Cece in her coffee and crime for a completely different reason. Cece won't put up with the freaking drama. We want a drama-free channel over there, and we all work to make sure that we don't have any drama over there. Sensible Crime. Will has a great video about trolls, why they do it. Yeah, I actually sat down and talked to them to try to get their side of it. Well, I can't say that I got all their sides. I mean, I talked to enough of them, and a lot of them, it's a game. It really is. They live sad, pathetic little lives, and it's a game to them. How many people can I upset, and will I get a reaction out of this person? You're welcome, Rain Dancer. It's a good good place to start, Andrew. Only talk to those who have who are normal. I don't know what normal is, but I'm guessing people that you're meaning people that are being respectful. Soul diversity. Good morning, Nancy Drew. Will, can you tell us the changes? Nancy Drew, good morning, by the way. that are happening December 10th. Well, what's happening is YouTube. From what I didn't, I'm learning this as you guys are probably. I didn't know anything about this. I hadn't turned on YouTube to at least on my laptop, or we're actually on my PC desktop right now. But on my phone, it wasn't showing any of this stuff at all on the mobile. But as soon as I turned it on this morning, I had to agree to this entire structure for COPA, which is a set of laws that are meant to protect children. And from what I understand, that's what they're aiming towards. But I mean, if there's a whole bunch of changes that are coming from how they will recommend channels and everything else. And I'm going to have to read into it and read more about it before I actually comment on it more than that. But it's kind of worrisome, because it just my mind running through is like, okay, if they're going to start restricting content, if it's kid friendly or not, what does that mean if you make music or if you make content that is for all ages? Are they going to start restricting content that is for all ages? I mean, obviously my content is not harmful to children, but it's not meant for children. And there are other, from what I hear from the people who messaged me, as there are other changes that are coming as well. And I don't know how that's going to affect search and discovery, which is going to be interesting. Epitone, good evening from the UK. Welcome. I'm half past Sling Blade. Where technology is concerned, my friend is IT level advanced. Hope he can help. Huh. Uh-huh. I like French fried potatoes. Uh-huh. Billy Bob Thornton. That was a hell of a role. I think that was one of the last movies that John Ritter did. I could be wrong on that, though, but John Ritter was awesome in that movie as well. And a tragic loss. Thank you, Blue Mermaid. And I really am sorry about, the medical issues that you're going through as well. Rain Dancer, is there asked if there are rules for publishing content for children? I believe that there is. If there isn't, there should be, but I don't know what they are. I mean, obviously you can't be making adult content, and then marketing for children. And I was telling people earlier, my son has the YouTube Kids app. We have it on the television, and there is serious content on there that is directly, it's made for adults, but they're marketing it and they listed it for children. And I think that the reason why people are doing that is because they're gaming the system. So I don't know if about anybody else, CC or anybody else out there who may have a true crime channel. I know for myself, for my channel, I'm getting paid 0.007 cents so per view on my content that is monetized. Now, if it's limited ads, I mean, I'm making nothing at all except for a couple of pennies from YouTube Red, and those who have subscriptions. I mean, when I say pennies, Last month alone, I made $1.25 off of YouTube Red. People who have YouTube Red subscriptions on content that was limited. $1.25 in an entire month on 37 videos. So, I mean, it's pennies. But I know in certain content areas like kids, I do believe it pays more per view, per click and view. So the CPR is higher, and I think that's why that some of these people are doing it. Is they're gaming the system by marketing their stuff as for kid content when it's adult. So they say, oh, look, it's playtime, with Bozo the Clown. And it actually, Bozo is the person who's doing the actual content, and he's not a clown at all. And playtime is adult, mud wrestling. And I'm just throwing that out there. It's not, I don't have any real examples of that, but I'm just saying, that's, and they're, instead of them paying, 0.007 cents per view click, they might be making 0.14. So double the amount of per click that I would be getting. Nancy Drew, you can get me monetized for children's content, but you can't run. YouTube restricts. Well, first off, let's just hypothetically say that we have a cartoon, and it really is. We'll say that it is a Daniel the Tiger cartoon. If you upload that to your channel, and that's what you do is upload original content, and it's monetizable. They will run bumper ads over on the side, and ads before the video, and then after the video. But they will not run the one here in the middle, or ad breaks in the middle. You can't run those. So they restrict those type of ads from being run on children's content. And the other thing is they turn off the comment section now on anything that is kid oriented, because a couple of bad apples got into the kids programming, and they were posting links and content that was inappropriate for a child to be clicking on, and it was sending them off of YouTube to other sites. And there are rules also for predatory nature for content as well, but they can be monetized. Now I can't remember the name of the channel, but there is a channel out there that started off with a little boy. I think he was probably 5 years old when he started it, and he would do. The parents did reviews, with like toys and stuff like that with him. And I think the kid's probably 10 years old now, but it morphed into, they're $1 million company now, doing reviews and playing and cartoons and everything else. And they started off as just the kid playing with the toys, and doing reviews on how the kid liked them. And good morning, Mike. Good morning, Rupel. It's Bella. Oh, Dari. Oh, there. Yeah. I got in trouble. I'll tell you about the live stream that I did, and my son walked in the background, drinking his bottle. He was just over 2 years old of age at that time, so it was about a year ago. It was just shortly after I started, but he walked into the background, and I got so much heat from that. He ended up having to take the video down. I knew he walked in the background, but I didn't know that. I'm like, oh, really? That content is something that YouTube didn't want. But there are people who who are out there. They'll think of anything to, the way I make a buck. I will. You're sleep deprived and travel via airlines recycled air. Try using generic saline nasal spray in the AM and PM. Marie, I will definitely try that because I'm congested like there's no tomorrow. But that's been I've been dealing with this congestion issue for a little bit over a week. I don't know why that was listed as hold for review there, CC. I've had my son on my live stream, but I wouldn't do it again. Too many nuts out there. Oh, there are. There definitely are, CC. You're welcome, Nancy. Still love the name, Nancy Drew. I used to love reading the books when I was younger. I bet my daughter has a bunch of them downstairs. All the inventory that was left over. Well, I wouldn't say all, but I mean a large majority of probably about I'd say about 8,000, 9,000 books left over from my store before when I closed it. I sold off a large majority of the store, but there was a good majority of first editions. So they're about all first edition books. My daughter wants them all. She's hoping to eventually start a eBay store and sell them. I don't know why it keeps on flagging these things as hold. Nightmare on YouTube for children is unreal. It's pedophile heaven. Something needs to be done. Some great people doing good things to bring it to light. Yeah. Dari, yes, but none of those. I don't. Rinky's Ray's last comment, the word pedophile, that's most likely was triggered as a hold for review because of YouTube. That they probably flagged that word. Now, what Cece said, about her son being on her live stream, I don't know why that was held. It's obviously not my keywords, like you're asking about. I do have keywords set up, but they're all vulgar words and hateful words, like racist words and stereotype words. But I don't have anything else set up, that reviews or holds certain things. Now, obviously, there's people. And I've got a lot of them now that are held. Chrissy, I know I understand your point about not wanting to be monetized, but it'd be great if it happens. It's the same here. I mean, with this channel, I started off and I didn't care if I ever became monetized. You ever seen one of those fundraiser things where they people have a giant thermometer? I made one of those. I used to have it behind me on the wall when I first started the channel, and I would count the subscribers. And oh, look, I'm up to 400, and I'd make a line, fill in the thermometer, and the thermometer was, once I get to 1,000 subscribers, I can become monetized. Yay! I got to 1,000, went past that. Another 1,000, I still hadn't gotten monetized. I was at 2,344 subscribers before I ever became monetized. Oh, I've got it all written down here. 875,067 watch hours before I became monetized. 1,147,070 views. I became monetized on December 12th, 2018. I needed the channel to pay for itself. If I was going to upload content, I needed to at least pay for the internet that I was using. Because we don't have internet. Nobody in the house uses internet. Back then, we didn't use the internet. We use it now for streaming, but we didn't need it. Everybody's always on their phone, or we're never home to watch TV. I never watch TV, and nobody else watches TV. My son, he has pre-recorded stuff on his Amazon Fire that he can watch, and it uses Wi-Fi through our cell phone. So there's no need for it. So I paid for internet. I'm like, okay, this channel's got to pay for the internet bill back then. And then, you know what? It's a lofty goal, but didn't really care if I became monetized or not back then. Now I have to be monetized. I have to make content that's monetized. If it's not, it doesn't come up. You'll never see it on YouTube. I put it directly behind a paywall, or I give it to my Patreon supporters only. But my Patreon supporters also get other content too. They get early releases of content that's here. But Patreon's a completely different story. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. But yeah, it's nice that it became monetized. But I understand that your point though. Don't think I really answered the question though. Oh, damn it! A golf cart. I don't know why that's on the floor. Good morning, CMS. Sorry, I didn't say good morning before. And Rhonda Haley, good morning. Michelle Feary, good morning. Anna, good morning. Richard, is it Diffley? I'm sorry if I mispronounced that name. What is behind the black tarp? It's actually gray, and it's a backdrop. What do they call those? It could be you can buy them in either gray, green, black. It's for I'm trying to remember what they call that. Screen? No, it's not a screen. Like green screen backdrop, so you can put different images behind the person. But what's behind that? Well, there's a 65-inch television, a wall, 2 posters, and a motorcycle that is down here. Rupal, you taking calls today, Will? Backdrops, yeah. Yeah, I have I have a black one, I have a gray one, and I've got the green screen over here, but it's I gotta go take that in excuse me, you gotta put it in the laundry, in the dryer, because it's got the folds in it still. So it takes all the folds out of it. Otherwise, it's really hard to take pictures or do a video, where you can put a different backdrop in. And this one I just threw up yesterday, but I gotta take the waves out of it, pull it so it's tight on both corners, so it's actually flat. Yeah, but I mean, solid gray, solid black, solid green, it all works the same. I got a black one over there. You can't see it, and I got the green one that's sitting on the chair. People were complaining they saw the motorcycle and all the parts back here, and they're like, "Well, that just looks awful. Why would you do that?" I'm like, "Okay, fine. I've got there's like an actual stand there that so metal poles. You buy it for photography. That thing is actually 27 yards long by, I think, 15. I mean, if I could show you the black one, it covers one entire side of my garage almost. because that's just what it is. I have a 4-car garage. There's 2 bays here and then 2 bays over here through the doorway. Well, you can't see it now, but just inside of that Marlboro container, there's a door right there where the flag is. It goes into the other 2 bays. I think the people who built this house before I moved in, before I bought it, they built this part of the garage and then they added 2 more bays. So it's a 4-car garage. But I'm like this, and nobody can see me. 4-car garage. So I wasn't using this side of the garage for anything except for to store junk in. That and a broken down car. So all the cars and stuff are over there where the tools and everything else are. And I'm slowly moving everything into one area. But, excuse me. So this entire area where I'm at right now is going to become the studio. To answer your question, Rupal, am I taking calls? I never take calls. Am I going to have people on live stream with me? Maybe if I do one tonight. I don't know. It all depends on what time I get back here. Because I have to go to work immediately after this. I'm going to have enough time to go inside, put my boots on, and then I got to jump in my truck and I have to go. And then once I get back, I don't know what time Tim's getting into town, but his grandson's birthday party is at 5:30, so he might get done by 7, 9, somewhere in there. And I don't know what his plans are afterwards. I don't know if the grandkids and him are staying here or not. I don't know. Or maybe he's coming to town and then leaving. I don't know. I haven't had a chance to talk to him. I haven't been here home. He knew I was back in Minnesota, and I got into town the other night. So, okay. Dari D has got some doors to hang. You want to come do some over here, Dari? I've done a lot of interior doors in my lifetime, but about a week ago, I did the first time ever I did the front door to my sister's home. Kiki Mercer, how you doing? I'm doing as good as I can. Hippie love. Good morning. Mike, have you put up another video yet? Oh, a sliding barn door. That'd be cool. Mike. Come on, Mike. Take your kids down to the skate park. Lazy. I don't think you're lazy. Just think you've been busy. Everybody has life that they have to do. We have to live. I'll try. Gotta feed the subscribers. Feed us. Feed us, Mike. We want more content. Oh, pocket doors. Question. Why so many accounts that say no content? Rain answer, I don't know what that is in relation to. why there are so many channels or so many people that feed the feed. Of course, hippies driving. I have a friend at Dari who lived in a tiny house. They did it for, I think, 4 years. I mean, and I'm talking a tiny house. It was, I think, 10 by 17. And that's a tiny, tiny house. The one thing that they absolutely loved about living in a tiny house was it made them get rid of all of the junk you never need or use. It made them boil everything down to what are the essentials in life. Yeah, but they lived in they lived in a the tiny house in it was outside of Juneau, Alaska. They had to do, I think they had to do it for 4 years. It was part of the Homestead Act or something like that. They had to live on the property and they had to improve the property, and then they got it for free. It was something to do with something like that. Getting old, want to downsize. Yeah. You saw Patty saw them on the news. Brandy Brown. Good morning, Brandy. What? Your daughter has a tiny house, but it used to be a barbecue stand? I hope you're doing well, Brandy. You have a 700 square foot cottage. Love it. The first house me and my wife bought, Marie, was 893 square feet home. 2 bedroom, 1 bath. I wouldn't call it 2 bedrooms, but that's what they listed it as. It was a fairly small house, in all things considered here, but it was what we could afford, and we took out the 30-year note on it, and we paid it off in 5 years. Every month, instead of making our minimum mortgage payment, every month we made a double payment or 2 payments plus a half every single month. And then every year when we got our tax returns, everything went to it. You get a raise at work, everything that would equal out for that year for in a raise, we threw it at the house, paid it off. We just sold it like 3 years ago. We had it as a rental for a while. Don't think I could live with 1 bathroom. Oh, hippie love. That was the one thing that I absolutely we must have when we bought this place. I said it had to have more than 1 bathroom, especially with a 21-year-old daughter and my wife. I needed room. So now we have, I think they call it 3.5 or 3.25. The 1 bathroom on the main floor is just basically a sink and a toilet. I think they call it a quarter bath. You need to downsize again. I got to meet just the other day, I got to meet the homeowners of this house. See, when we bought this place, I never saw the house. I never saw it before we bought it. Never came and looked at it. Didn't know anything about it, except for my wife took a little video of it as she walked around the house. And the people who were selling the house, they were still in the house. And they had an open house, and they kind of like staged it with, furniture and removed like some of their belongings. And she took a little video of the place, and I thought, okay. It had a garage. I needed that. Needed something bigger. And she said, what do you think? I said, do you like it? She says, I absolutely love it. I said, is this the one you want to buy? Because I was dead set on another house that I saw that I liked. It had a 3-car garage, and then it had a shop that was in a separate building altogether. And I never looked at this house. And she said she loved it. She wanted it. I said, okay, that's the one we'll buy. So, it's way larger of a place than I need. But we started off that tiny, not tiny house, but it's a little house. And then we moved into another house, and then another house. And we used those ones as rentals. And then we got rid of those. And then we moved to here. Be surprised how fast you'll fill someplace up. We don't need all these bedrooms, but we have a room for Tim. He has his own key. He can come and go whenever he wants, whenever he's in town. And then we still have 2 other bedrooms that are just empty, but my wife is slowly filling them up. I overlook Tacoma tidal flats, and it spreads out to include our mountain, Mount Rainier, and the Cascades. Rain Dancer, are you in Tacoma? I think so by the zip code. I went to Stadium High School in Tacoma. The football stadium overlooks, I believe, the tidal flats. Oh, you're 3 blocks from Stadium. Oh, that's cool. Oh, it was kind of weird. So I lived I was, in high school still, but we lived right next to Tacoma Mall, and I drove from Tacoma Mall all the way across to Stadium High School every day. It was not the best neighborhood in the world. One side of us had all the United States Army, and reserves and active duty, and the other side of the street that we lived on, we're talking the street here, Army on this side. On this side, it was all gangbangers and drug dealers and idiots, and they were constantly firing, and getting pissed off at each other. Until everybody on this side, all those Army guys, forced all these idiots the hell out of the neighborhood. You went to Rain Dancer, you went to Stadium High School? That's cool. I went to, so it would have been 1980. I want to say 86 or 87. Somewhere there is when I went to Stadium High School. Maybe it would, yeah. It had to be 87. 1987. Spanaway is now the Chit area. Yeah. I worked for when I was in high school. I worked for Frederick and Nelson's department store. Yeah, I was a window dresser. '71 for you. A little bit of a difference in years there. Will, are you traveling to Washington and Oregon next week for 2 weeks? At will. Your Black Rose, you'll be traveling to Washington, Oregon in the next 2 weeks? That's cool. Yeah, we were supposed to go to, I can't remember the name of the damn high school there in Tacoma. It's closer to Tacoma Mall, and I can't remember. But we walked in. We were getting ready to register at the in the office, to transfer there. And before we could actually get out of the parking lot to get inside, we saw a fist fight. And then when we got inside the building to to go to the office to fill out the paperwork to transfer into that high school, we saw I don't want to call it a stabbing, but it was like a homemade weapon. We saw the kid running down the hallway when he nailed the other kid right in the neck. And my mom just turned around and said, "We're not going to school here," and took all three of us out. And we walked back out, got back in the car, and drove away. But not even close to being the worst high school I've ever went to. My mom at the time was working for the federal government, but she was there for the next year and a half to do training. Oh, Mike and Brandy. Yeah, well, meth has a way of doing that to an area. Brandy, I think you should take Mike out and punish him. Spank his ass. Not that Mike would like that. Just saying. Teach that man a lesson. I don't know what was said there. I never saw the comment. Yeah. Okay, hold on. Try this. I got to turn this way so I can actually drink my coffee. Oh, I get a kick out of both of you. Great morning conversation. Yeah. All right, it is 10 o'clock. I have to get going, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, they have to end this, but I do have to get going. Everyone, thank you again for joining me this morning for another rambling live stream. I hope you all have a great day today, and I'm going to try to do a live stream tonight, but all depends on what time I get back here. Hopefully, I don't have to work too much today. Oh, Mike. Better watch out. I bet she has a nasty left hook. Again, everyone, if I do get on tonight, it probably won't be until, I'm going to say 7. o'clock my time here, Pacific Daylight Time. So West Coast of the United States. So if you're kind of where you are in the world. In the meantime, everyone, stay safe. And thank you again.